officer at Pender Correctional Institution faces up to 5 years in prison. Richard Wargo pleaded guilty to perjury in a federal civil rights investigation. Wargo told the FBI he wasn't present when an inmate was beaten by officers in 2021. However, other officers said he was, and Wargo eventually admitted he was there.